Welcome back to the KSLA Cafe. Short-term rentals are generated a whopping $64 billion for their owners back in 2023. And the right home in the right market can be a moneymaker, but it's not always a walk in the park to have one. So here to discuss the pros and cons of having an Airbnb is Marianne Claville of Keller Williams. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
So we were talking about this during the break, how you make that kind of decision. Let's say you inherit a relative's home on, say, Cross Lake, since we're nearby. What are some of the reasons that you would be thinking like this is why it should be a short-term rental? How do you decide?
Well, with short-term rentals, we have to understand that it is what it says. It's a short-term rental. So it's nothing that you have to be committed to for a long period of time, like traditional rentals are generally like 12-month leases or 6 months. With a short-term rental, you can always bring different clients in and you can charge more, basically.
So what is, if you have a property or maybe the area is great but the property is not, or vice versa, what are some things that make a property more appealing to a tenant or someone who's looking for an Airbnb?
Well, for short-term rentals, what's more appealing is those short-term rentals that are theme-based. So you could have some, like, for example, in Atlanta, they might have one that's all pink or one that has astronauts or something that's a good theme. Here in Louisiana, I would love to see like a True Blood one or something that is like specific for our area. So those themed ones always get more traffic.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you notice it with like beach Airbnbs. You want it to look coastal inside or things like that. So is it kind of like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And some things that people should consider, we talked about the pros of having one, but you know, there are some risks that can be there too. So what else should property owners consider before they make that decision?
Some cons that we've seen in the news is some people going in and moving in and not wanting to leave out. So you have to have like clear contracts, clear terms and agreements, so people can know exactly when they should come in, when they should leave out, and just to let them know you do have extra security measures in place. Maybe you have cameras on the outside, you have a cleaning crew that'll come at a specific time. So if you have those things in place, then you can cut down on some of the risk.
And is there an advantage to affiliating with a company like, say, Vrbo or Airbnb, or just saying, I want a short-term rental, but I want to, you know, manage it myself?
It is an extra security precaution when you go through those companies, because with those companies, they have ratings not just on the owners but on guests as well. So let's say for Airbnb, if you go in and you mess up a property, then that owner can rate you and then you won't be able to do that again to anyone else.
And then if, God forbid, something happens where you have a tenant come in, a renter come in and, you know, messes with the property or does something substantial, what does the owner do in that case?
Well, if they are with a vacation or short-term rental agency, they report it directly to that agency.
Right.
Of course, they get police reports so they can get damage, and hopefully they do have insurance. So all owners should have like those renter insurance so they could file a claim.
If you were privately renting, let's say you just kind of had your own thing going, would it be the same route, like police reports and then just kind of see what happens?
Absolutely. And I would advise, even if you're doing it yourself and not through one of those agencies, always get the insurance.
Yeah.
Because you never know what will happen. And then sometimes, in some cases, it might be just a pipe burst or whatever that is, or some type of weather anomaly. And then you can always use your insurance for that.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing these tips with everybody. I'm sure it's going to be really useful as people develop around here.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.